I'm Alexis Zotos outside Sony Picture Studios, where President Obama is set to speak at a fundraiser this evening. Carly Fiorina just spoke to her supporters, riling this crowd up despite exit polls and early returns. The mayor of Fenton has his doubts, saying that type of business would not create the types of jobs that are so desperately needed here. But as of now, the cars are parked here on Sullivan Boulevard, which was flooded. As you can see, there's some residual mud left over. With U.S. unemployment stuck at 9.1%, the candidates are expected to spend much of tonight's GOP debate sparring over the economy. Now, the jury deliberated for about 8.5 hours to come up with that verdict. Throughout this trial, which began September 27th, they heard from 49 witnesses. We got a sneak preview down here on the ground at St. Louis Downtown Airport in Cahokia. But here, there's no time limit, so he can play around until he finds a forever home. The response to tuition hikes turned ugly as protesters and police clashed at CSU Long Beach.
When people were, pressing against the doors, I could see the glass coming in toward me.
The peaceful rally turned chaotic. 3 people were taken into custody. 2 of them were San Diego State students protesting in solidarity. Officers used batons and pepper spray to keep the crowd back, and officials say at least 4 officers were injured. During the chaos, the CSU Board of Trustees voted 9-6 to raise tuition by 9%, starting next school year.
To run a university, we have to make certain practical decisions, and we have to make them now.
But the final decision was made behind closed doors.
If they want to democratically go about this, they should allow us to go in there and discuss the issues that we want to discuss.
Now, today's vote is on top of the 12% increase that took effect earlier this year, as well as the 9% fee increase from 2010. Overall, tuition has increased for students by 82% since 2008, a fact that they say is beyond frustrating.
It's going to take a lot longer for me, and my chances to actually succeed and become successful in the major that I want, it's less likely for me.
To keep denying people this right to education or just making it increasingly unaffordable is only hurting our country.
It completely scares me, and I think about the amount of debt that I'm going to have later on once I actually finish my degree.
The university is no stranger to protests, but a spokeswoman blames today's violence on outside groups, not on CSU students.
We've had a lot of protests here. Our students are usually very nonviolent, and so unfortunately external groups came and didn't respect the civility of our institution. Protesters quickly dispersed after the confrontation. The physical standoff came to an end, but students say the fight for their education isn't over. Alexis Zotos, ATVN. Dr. Conrad Murray sat stone-faced as he listened to the jury announce his fate.
We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Conrad Robert Murray, guilty.
Dr. Murray is remanded to the custody of the Los Angeles Sheriff with no bail.
The jury found Michael Jackson's personal physician guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Murray was handcuffed and taken directly to jail. Many fans outside the courthouse were elated. And for the Jackson family, the verdict is a long-awaited victory.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Justice was served. Michael was watching over.
Justice was served, yes.
Inside the courtroom, a witness says there was an overwhelming gasp as the verdict was read.
Everybody in the room, you could hear it audible. I know everybody did. My heart hit the floor.
Now, the jury deliberated for about 8.5 hours to come up with that verdict. Throughout this trial, which began September 27th, they heard from 49 witnesses, 33 for the prosecution and 16 for the defense.
I just thank the jury, and our sympathies go out to the Jackson family at this time for the loss that they have suffered. Not a pop icon, but a son and a brother.
The defense didn't speak after the verdict, but a friend and former patient of Murray says the jury was under pressure to convict. He said this man didn't deserve this. They needed a scapegoat. Murray will remain in jail until his sentencing hearing on November 29th. He could face up to 4 years in jail. Alexis Zotos, ATVN.
And the bell rings 10 times in memory of and in tribute to their life and service.
10 years after 9/11, the memories are still fresh.
Feels like it was yesterday, and it feels like it was 100 years ago, too. I was out on the street when the first tower collapsed, so I got buried in the cloud and the rubble, and I was pretty sure I was going to die that day.
Members of the Los Angeles Fire Department and local officials joined together at the LAFD Training Center for a remembrance ceremony and monument dedication. A 22-foot steel column from the lobby of the World Trade Center was erected in honor of the first responders and victims of 9/11.
On September 11, 2001, America's first responders were the face of America. They didn't run from danger, they ran into danger.
A video of first responders was played for the crowd, and the sound of the first 911 calls of the day captivated the audience. The words of the national anthem, the ring of the bell, and the buzz of the planes flying overhead filled the air with a strong sense of patriotism. But it was the moment of silence that brought the loudest sense of unity to the crowd gathered at Elysian Park.
In that spirit, then, we can gather today, not only as friends and colleagues, but as an American family. A family united in our resolve to never forget the lives lost on 9/11.
Today's ceremony wasn't just a time to honor and mourn those lost on 9/11, but also a time to reflect and to learn from that day 10 years ago.
I hope that people learn that tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and to live life to the fullest every day. You don't know what's going to happen. I thought I was going to work, like any other day, and I wasn't. None of us were. So things can change real quickly, and it's important to remember that.
Alexis Zotos, ATVN. The Dodgers saluted members of the military today, giving them a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Let's go play some ball.
To say thank you on Veterans Day, more than 75 military men and women were invited for batting practice at Dodger Stadium. Broadcaster Charlie Steiner emceed the event where Dodger Hall of Fame manager Tommy Lasorda and members of the 1981 World Series team signed autographs and offered coaching advice.
Watch the ball, watch the ball.
That was really exciting. I used to sit up there when I was a little kid, so to be on the ground and actually playing on Dodger Stadium is just fantastic.
This is great. This is a dream come true, once in a lifetime experience here. So.
But the excitement goes both ways.
Oh yeah, I should be getting their autographs though.
Because while the servicemen and women may just call themselves fans,
huge Dodgers fans, even before when they were in New York.
To the Dodgers, they're much more.
One of the things that we tend to forget when we're out here playing baseball every day, or in my case, broadcasting it, is that there are a lot of folks who are singularly responsible for us to be able to do and play and say in the fashion that we're able to. And that's the veterans.
And to show that appreciation on and off the field, Dodger Stadium is going to offer military members and their families up to 70% discounted tickets to season games. Reporting from Dodger Stadium, I'm Alexis Zotos.